The goal of this isolation is twofold. First, it seeks to prevent you from finding external validation for your observations. By cutting you off from others who might share your concerns, they hope to leave you alone with your doubts, more susceptible to their manipulations. Second, it aims to discredit you in the eyes of others, undermining your ability to expose their true nature to a wider audience. This tactic exploits our deep-seated fear of social rejection and our need for community. As social beings, we rely on the support and validation of others to maintain our sense of reality and self-worth. When isolated, we become more vulnerable, more likely to question our own perceptions and judgments. But in this moment of imposed solitude, I urge you to find strength in your inner conviction. Remember that truth, like a seed, can grow even in the harshest conditions. Your awareness, your insight, is not dependent on the validation of others, though such validation can certainly bolster your resolve. Consider this. Why does evil fear your connection with others so much? Is it not because in unity and shared understanding there is power? Is it not because your awareness, when combined with the awareness of others, becomes a force too strong to manipulate or suppress? 7 things evil people do when they know that you know. In the tapestry of human existence, we find ourselves entangled in a complex web of interactions, some benevolent, others malevolent. Today, we delve into the murky waters of human nature, exploring the intricate dance that unfolds when those with nefarious intentions realize their masks have slipped. What transpires in that pivotal moment when evil recognizes that you have seen through its carefully crafted facade? As we embark on this journey of understanding, I ask you to open your mind and heart, for the truths we shall uncover may challenge your perceptions and shake the very foundations of your beliefs. Yet, it is in this discomfort that growth and wisdom flourish. The first revelation in our exploration is the immediate shift in demeanor that occurs when an evil individual becomes aware of your awareness. In that instant, a transformation takes place, subtle yet profound. The once warm smile may freeze, the eyes may harden, and an almost imperceptible tension may grip their being. This change is not merely physical, it is a spiritual tremor, a ripple in the fabric of their carefully constructed reality. But why does this occur? I posit that it is because evil, at its core, thrives in shadows and secrecy. When exposed to the light of awareness, it recoils, much like a nocturnal creature suddenly thrust into the harsh glare of day. This reaction is not just a defense mechanism, it is a fundamental characteristic of malevolence, the need to remain hidden, to operate unseen and undetected. You, the observer, have inadvertently become a threat. Your awareness has pierced the veil of deception, and in doing so, you have disrupted the delicate balance of power that evil relies upon. This disruption triggers a primal response, a fight-or-flight reaction rooted in the deepest recesses of the human psyche. As you witness this transformation, I urge you to pause and reflect. What does this moment reveal about the nature of evil? About the nature of humanity itself? Are we not all, to some degree, engaged in a constant dance of revelation and concealment? The second manifestation of evil's response is perhaps the most insidious, the immediate attempt to gaslight and manipulate your perception. Having recognized that you've seen through their facade, the evil individual will often launch a counteroffensive aimed at destabilizing your confidence in your own observations. They may question your judgment, subtly at first, planting seeds of doubt in the fertile soil of your mind. "Are you sure that's what you saw?" they might ask, their voice a mixture of concern and incredulity. Perhaps you misunderstood my intentions, they may suggest, weaving a narrative that contradicts your clear perception of events. This gaslighting is not merely a defensive tactic, it is a calculated strategy designed to maintain control. By causing you to question your own reality, they seek to reestablish their dominance and preserve their ability to operate unchecked. It is a psychological warfare of the most personal kind, targeting the very foundation of your sense of self and your trust in your own perceptions. But why is this tactic so effective? I propose that it exploits a fundamental aspect of human nature, our desire for harmony and our aversion to conflict. We are, by nature, social creatures who seek connection and understanding. The idea that we may have misjudged someone, that our perception might be flawed, often seems more palatable than accepting the harsh reality of intentional malevolence. As you find yourself in the midst of this psychological battle, I implore you to anchor yourself in the truth of your experience. Trust in the wisdom of your intuition, for it is often in these moments of doubt that our inner voice speaks most clearly. Remember, the fact that evil seeks to distort your perception is itself evidence of the validity of your awareness. Yet, even as we guard against manipulation, we must also remain open to the possibility of misunderstanding. The line between evil and misguided action can sometimes be thin, and true wisdom lies in discernment. How then can we navigate this treacherous terrain? How can we remain steadfast in our perceptions while still allowing for the complexity of human nature? This question leads us to the third response of evil when exposed: the rapid deployment of charm and charisma as a means of distraction and misdirection. Having failed to shake your confidence through gaslighting, the evil individual often pivots to a strategy of overwhelming positivity and appeal. The chameleon's charm, unraveling the tapestry of deceptive allure. In this dance of darkness and light, we now witness the evil individual donning their most beguiling mask. Like a chameleon adapting to its environment, they shift their demeanor with practiced ease, radiating charm and charisma with an intensity that can be both captivating and disorienting. This sudden surge of positive energy is not genuine warmth, but rather a calculated offensive designed to cloud your judgment and redirect your attention. Why does evil resort to charm in these moments of exposure? I posit that it is because charm is the ultimate weapon of distraction. It appeals to our innate desire for connection, our yearning to believe in the goodness of others. When faced with a charismatic persona, we often find ourselves willing to overlook inconsistencies, to forgive past transgressions, and to doubt our own misgivings. But this charm offensive serves a deeper, more insidious purpose. It is not merely about making you like them. It is about making you doubt your own perceptions. By presenting a facade of warmth and friendliness, the evil individual creates a cognitive dissonance within you. How can someone so charming, so apparently kind, be the same person you recognized as malevolent just moments ago? This dissonance is the breeding ground for confusion and self-doubt. It challenges your ability to trust your own judgment, creating a mental fog that obscures the clarity of your earlier insights. In this state of confusion, you become more susceptible to manipulation, more likely to dismiss your own valid concerns as unfounded paranoia. Yet, even as we acknowledge the power of this tactic, we must ask ourselves, what does our vulnerability to charm reveal about our own nature? Are we not, in some way, complicit in this deception by our eagerness to believe in the good? How can we cultivate discernment that allows us to appreciate genuine warmth while recognizing manipulative charm? As we ponder these questions, we must remain vigilant, For the fourth response of evil when exposed is perhaps the most dangerous: the swift move to isolate you from others who might corroborate your perceptions. Having failed to shake your conviction through charm and gaslighting, the evil individual often seeks to cut you off from potential allies and sources of validation. This isolation can take many forms. They may attempt to poison the well, speaking ill of you to mutual acquaintances, casting doubt on your character or stability. They might create situations that make it difficult for you to communicate with others who could support your perspective. In more extreme cases, they may even threaten or intimidate those who might be inclined to stand with you. As we reflect on these strategies of charm and isolation, we must also consider their impact on our own spiritual and philosophical journey. How do these experiences shape our understanding of human nature, of good and evil? What can they teach us about the importance of community, of shared wisdom, in our quest for truth and enlightenment? In the face of such calculated efforts to distort our reality, how can we maintain our spiritual equilibrium? I propose that the answer lies in cultivating a deep, unshakable connection with our inner truth. This connection, this spiritual anchor, is what allows us to weather the storms of manipulation and deception without losing our way. But cultivating this inner strength is no easy task. It requires constant vigilance, a willingness to face uncomfortable truths, and the courage to stand firm in our convictions even when doubted by others. It demands that we develop not just awareness, but wisdom, the ability to discern truth from illusion, genuine warmth from manipulative charm. As we navigate these treacherous waters, we must remember that our goal is not merely to expose evil, but to understand it. For in understanding, we find the keys to transcendence. By recognizing the tactics of those who would deceive us, we gain insight into the shadows within our own hearts, the potential for deception that lies dormant in all of us. The serpent's whisper, navigating the labyrinth of malevolent intent. As we delve deeper into the abyss of human nature, we encounter the fifth response of evil when exposed, a sudden and dramatic shift in narrative. Like a cornered serpent, the malevolent individual, realizing that their initial tactics have failed, often undergoes a startling transformation. They may abruptly change their story, rewriting history with a dexterity that can leave you questioning your own memory. This narrative shift is not merely a change in details, it is a wholesale reimagining of reality. Events you clearly recall may be denied outright or reframed in ways that paint the evil individual as the victim, the misunderstood hero, or the unwitting pawn in someone else's game. The audacity of this tactic can be breathtaking, leaving you momentarily stunned by its sheer brazenness. But why does evil resort to such extreme measures? I posit that it is because, at its core, evil cannot bear the weight of truth. Like a vampire recoiling from sunlight, it must constantly shift and reshape itself to avoid exposure. This fluidity of narrative is not just a defense mechanism, it is a fundamental characteristic of malevolence, the ability to adapt, to rewrite reality in ways that serve its own ends. As you witness this narrative gymnastics, you may find yourself grappling with a profound sense of disorientation. The ground beneath your feet seems to shift, the landmarks by which you've navigated your understanding of events suddenly rearranged. In this moment of confusion, I urge you to pause and reflect. What does this willingness to completely rewrite reality tell us about the nature of evil? About the fragility of truth in the face of determined deception? Consider this. If reality can be so easily reshaped by words alone, what does that say about the nature of our shared experience? Are we not all, to some degree, creators of our own narratives? Where does the line between interpretation and outright fabrication lie? As you ponder these questions, be aware that this narrative shift serves another, more insidious purpose. By presenting a completely new version of events, the evil individual hopes to keep you off balance, to force you into a defensive posture where you must constantly reassert the truth of your own experiences. This is a war of attrition designed to wear down your resolve, to make you question the value of continuing to resist their alternate reality. But even as we recognize the power of this tactic, we must not lose sight of our own inner truth. Your experiences, your perceptions, are not so easily erased or rewritten. They are the bedrock upon which your understanding of the world is built. Trust in them, even as you remain open to the possibility of misunderstanding or misinterpretation. This brings us to the sixth response of evil when exposed: the swift and often vicious attack on your character and credibility. Having failed to shake your conviction through other means, the malevolent individual may resort to outright aggression, seeking to destroy your reputation and undermine your standing in the eyes of others. This attack can take many forms. They may spread rumors or false information about you, questioning your motives, your mental stability, or your moral character. They might dredge up past mistakes or vulnerabilities, magnifying them out of proportion to cast doubt on your current perceptions. In some cases, they may even fabricate evidence or situations designed to discredit you. The goal of this character assassination is clear: to shift the focus from their own misdeeds to your supposed flaws or unreliability. By painting you as unstable, dishonest, or malicious, they hope to neutralize the threat posed by your awareness. After all, who would believe the accusations of someone whose credibility has been so thoroughly undermined? But why does evil choose this path of destruction? I propose that it is because, in the face of truth, it has no other recourse. Unable to maintain its facade through charm or manipulation, it lashes out in a desperate attempt at self-preservation. This aggression is not a sign of strength, but rather a revelation of profound weakness and fear. As you weather this storm of accusations and attacks, I implore you to remain steadfast in your truth. Remember that your worth, your integrity, is not determined by the words of others, no matter how loud or persistent they may be. Your value lies in your actions, in your commitment to truth and justice, not in the opinions of those who would seek to destroy you. Yet, even as we stand firm against these attacks, we must also look deeper. What does this willingness to destroy another's reputation reveal about the nature of evil? About the lengths to which some will go to protect their own interests? And what does our reaction to such attacks say about our own character, our own commitment to truth? These questions lead us to a profound realization that in the face of determined evil, mere passive resistance is often not enough. To truly combat malevolence, we must be willing to take action, to speak out, to shine a light into the darkest corners of human behavior. But how can we do this without becoming that which we oppose? How can we fight against evil without allowing it to corrupt our own hearts? The answer, I believe, lies in our ability to maintain our spiritual and moral integrity even in the face of overwhelming opposition. It requires us to cultivate a strength that comes not from aggression or retaliation, but from an unshakable commitment to truth and justice. This is the path of the warrior sage, one who fights not with weapons of destruction, but with the power of unwavering conviction and compassionate action. As we stand at this crossroads, facing the full fury of evil's desperate attempts at self-preservation, we must ask ourselves, Are we ready to embrace this higher calling? Are we prepared to stand firm in our truth, even when the cost of doing so seems impossibly high? The Phoenix's rebirth, transcending the ashes of deception. In this final revelation, we confront the seventh and perhaps most profound response of evil when exposed, the attempt to co-opt your awareness and twist it to their advantage. Like a skilled alchemist transforming lead into gold, the malevolent individual may suddenly embrace your knowledge, claiming that it was their intention all along for you to see through their facade. This startling pivot is a masterclass in manipulation, a last-ditch effort to regain control of the narrative. They might say, "I'm glad you finally understand. This was a test, and you passed." Or, "I knew you were special. That's why I revealed my true self to you." In doing so, they attempt to reframe your discovery not as a threat to their plans, but as a part of them. Why does evil employ this tactic? I posit that it is the ultimate act of self-preservation, an attempt to transform a moment of vulnerability into one of strength. By claiming ownership of your awareness, they seek to neutralize its power, to incorporate it into their own narrative of control and manipulation. But this tactic reveals something deeper about the nature of evil: its infinite adaptability, its chameleon-like ability to shift and change in the face of exposure. It is a reminder that malevolence is not a fixed state, but a fluid one, constantly evolving in response to the light of awareness. As you face this final gambit, I urge you to remain centered in your own truth. Recognize this tactic for what it is: a desperate attempt to maintain control, to keep you within the sphere of their influence. Your awareness, your insight, is your own. It cannot be co-opted or twisted unless you allow it to be. In this moment of clarity, we must ask ourselves, how do we respond to such blatant manipulation? How do we maintain our integrity in the face of evil's constant shape-shifting? The answer, I believe, lies in our ability to transcend the entire paradigm of manipulation and counter-manipulation. It requires us to rise above the battlefield of ego and control to a place of higher understanding and compassion. This is not to say that we should accept or condone evil actions. Rather, it is a call to approach the situation with wisdom and discernment. We must learn to see beyond the immediate conflict, to understand the deeper currents of fear, insecurity, and pain that often drive malevolent behavior. In doing so, we open the door to true transformation, not just of our immediate circumstances, but of the very fabric of human interaction. We become agents of change, capable of breaking the cycles of manipulation and deceit that plague our world. As we conclude this exploration, I leave you with a final question to ponder. How can we use our awareness of evil's tactics not just to protect ourselves, but to create a world where such tactics lose their power? How can we become beacons of truth and integrity in a world often shrouded in shadows of deception? Remember, the ultimate victory over evil is not in exposing or defeating it, but in transcending it altogether. It is in cultivating a state of being so rooted in truth and compassion that the manipulations of others find no purchase in our hearts and minds. In this transcendence, we find true freedom, the freedom to live authentically, to love deeply, and to contribute meaningfully to the world around us. This is the Phoenix's rebirth, rising from the ashes of deception to soar in the clear skies of truth and understanding.